And once again, how's it going out there, my fellow patriots in America, land of the free, home of the brave? Here's me, the Wicked Wizard, back with another video for y'all. And yeah, we're still on this kick because, hey, I don't know what other kick we could possibly be about, but January 6th, right? Because they kind of lied to us about everything. Everything they said was a lie. First lie, not one single cop died on January 6th, okay? Biden's still out there saying several cops died. No, fucking lies, all lies, okay? There was one cop named Brian Sicknick that came out on, if you remember, I don't know, but if you remember, they said that the Trump supporters bashed him in the head with a fire extinguisher and killed him assassination style, right? Oh, yeah. No, that didn't happen. And let's watch why. So here.
Within hours of January 6th, literally hours, you began to hear that day described as a deadly insurrection. Not described by one news outlet or one politician, but in unison by all of them. Almost like it was coordinated. A deadly insurrection. That's how history may record January 6th. But the tape that we review from within the building on that day proves it was neither an insurrection nor deadly.
Nope.
Here it is.
No.
January 6th, when an estimated 2,000 rioters breached the Capitol building, causing the deaths of 5 police officers.
Certain dates echo throughout his...
Wow. Do you see that? Caused the death of 5 police officers. Fucking A, man. Not one cop died. But yeah, you wouldn't know that if you're a lefty. See, this is the problem, man. Some of these people out there that only watch MSNBC and CNN, they're never going to know this was a fucking sham. They're never going to know this was a setup. They're never going to know that no cops died. It's bad. It's sad. It's our country falling apart.
History. December 7th, 1941. September 11th, 2001. And January 6th.
The mob beat officers.
Wow, man. She is so outraged over January 6th. She's comparing it to Pearl Harbor and 9/11. Pretty sure Pearl Harbor, about 3,000 plus people died. I'm also pretty sure that about 3,000 plus died on 9/11. So take those together, that's 6, maybe 7,000 people died between these two incidents. But this one incident where only a Trump supporter shot by a black Capitol police officer for no fucking reason. He murdered her. She's the only one that died, but yet this is the worst thing ever. As a matter of fact, Biden now says it's worse than since the Civil War. The worst thing. One dead. Trump supporter. Ashley Babbitt. Veteran. Weighed about 110 pounds. Soaking wet. 5 feet tall. And a cop shot her. Yeah. It's so fucking bad.
With anything they had on them, hockey stick, flagpole, a fire extinguisher. Police officers died.
Donald Trump supporters who, of course, rioted and killed police officers.
By the evening of January 6th, the Democratic Party and its publicists in the national news media had settled on a description of what had happened that day. They distilled an enormous number of highly complex events that even now we don't fully understand, into a single emotionally elated political slogan, which they repeated for years with remarkable discipline.
Again, the Capitol building is huge, right? There are 4 sides, but they had one on the west side and one on the east side. I forget which one, but one had a permit for people to go. The people that went there to watch Donald Trump, their president, speak, after they heard him speak, when Donald Trump said, you're going to peacefully march down to the Capitol and hear your voices heard. Peacefully, he said. Those people walked down there to that part of the Capitol building, and that's exactly what they did. They were there, and they were peaceful. The cops then opened up the doors on somebody's command. There's one video of a cop, and there's a bunch of people out there, right? And they have those magnetic locks, the electric magnetic locks. There's no way you could open one of those with human strength. There's just no way. No. Right? So the door's magnetically locked, and the cop points up at a guy in a tower, and all of a sudden, click, the door opens and he let all these people in. On the other side, you had a bunch of people. I don't know if they were dissidents. I'm sure some of them were Trump supporter assholes. I mean, in every group, you're going to have some assholes, but for the most part, Trump people are the best. But you also had a bunch of feds. You had a bunch of fucking, what do you call them? Rats, human resources or whatever the fuck you want to call yourself. They rat at you at their fellow Americans to the FBI, those fucking idiots, scum. Well, those kind of people out there riling people up. And yes, some people partook and they started breaking some windows, and those people should be punished. They have been punished, but no, most of these people are still in jail now in solitary confinement over 2 years later for the crime of trespass. And I know, once again, you don't believe me. So watch.
January 6th, they said, was a deadly insurrection.
There was a deadly insurrection that the right wing is trying to cover up. He incited a deadly insurrection.
Incited a deadly insurrection.
The violent, deadly insurrection on the Capitol 9 months ago, it was about white supremacy in my view.
Oh, yeah, white supremacy,
Deadly insurrection. Everything about that phrase is a lie. Very little about January 6th was organized.
Everything, right there, what does it tell you? Everything that they said was a lie. There was no deadly insurrection. I mean, think about this from a logic standpoint, right? If you're going to try to attempt to overthrow a government and this was coordinated, wouldn't you have a gun? I mean, wouldn't somebody have a gun? I mean, if you really think about it, I'm just a dude in my basement, right, making a video. And I can tell you that if you're going to try to take over Washington, D.C., you'd have to take over the Potomac. You'd have to take over some areas. I mean, there's like... Oh, man, this is nuclear power overtaken by a bunch of people running in with flagpoles. Okay.
Or violent. Surveillance video from inside the Capitol shows mostly peaceful chaos. But the slogan worked. The term deadly carries enormous emotional power, which is why they used it. To prove the insurrection was deadly, propagandists pointed to the death of an officer called Brian Sicknick.
All right, now here we go, folks. I want you to pay attention. I'm going to go off of the reports that they had that day and for many days after, and Biden is still saying this, okay? Joseph fucking Biden, piss pants Biden, is still saying that Brian Sicknick was hit in the head with a fire extinguisher by stupid MAGA Republicans and he's dead and there was a deadly insurrection. Their weapons were the flagpoles. They didn't have to have guns. They tried to overthrow the government. Yeah, okay, dude. Sure. No disrespect to Brian Sicknick and his family. I'm sorry, but don't get mad at us for reporting on the fact that they tried to blame it on us. They tried to blame us for murder, and we're defending ourselves, right? Yeah. I heard all that too.
The mob killed Officer Brian Sicknick. That's what they said.
Sure.
It was their single most powerful indictment of the January 6th protesters and of Donald Trump and of Republican voters nationally. They repeated that claim for years. They are still repeating it. At first, they told the country that Officer Sicknick was murdered with a fire extinguisher.
Officer Brian Sicknick died after being hit in the head with a fire extinguisher during the fight.
That story came from the New York Times, which is effectively the assignment editor for most of the rest of American media. It was a lie, untrue in any way. But only after that lie had hardened into conventional wisdom did the newspaper bother to retract it.
The New York Times has quietly retracted its story about the death of Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick.
The damage had been done. Brian Sicknick, himself a Trump voter, had been transformed without...
Whoa, did you hear that? They said, this boy is a Trump voter. Wow. I mean, okay.
Without his consent, into a political martyr of the left. His memory was shamelessly exploited by the incoming Biden.
Now, this is just disgusting, man. When these fucking scumbag, evil, lizard people, politicians use the death of an American patriot for their own political gain. That boils my blood, I'll tell you.
Administration. In February of 2021, Sicknick's body lay in state in the Capitol Rotunda, where a parade of unscrupulous politicians made use of it. Here's Joe Biden.
Breaking down the doors, trying to overturn an outcome of election, and killing several police officers in the meantime.
Did you hear that? He's still saying that killing several police officers, breaking down doors. No, bro, the videos I've seen, your Capitol Police are escorting people around and opening doors for them. Yeah. Wow, man. I mean, how shameful. Really, really, really. I mean, I understand I maybe a greed and a lust for money and power and shit like that, because I really wish I had some money and power, right? But I would not sacrifice my morals for money or power. I would not want to hurt anybody else. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night, man. I have a bad conscience. I can't. If I do anything bad, I got to rat myself out. Right? Like, I remember when I was a kid, one time I stole some shit and I went ratting myself out because I felt so bad I stole some shit. So, I just don't understand how you sleep with yourself when you're so fucking evil, and the way that you take advantage of people who have mothers and children and sisters and brothers and shit, and you just don't even care. Just scum.
But Brian Sicknick should not be reduced to a prop for the political ambitions of the Democratic Party. He was a human being. The facts of his life matter, including how he died.
That's right.
To this day, media accounts describe Sicknick as someone who was, quote, slain on January 6th.
Slain.
The video we reviewed proves that is a lie.
Slain.
Here is surveillance footage of Sicknick walking in the Capitol after he was supposedly murdered by the mob outside.
Now, okay, so now here we go, right? We're going to show you some ghost videos. I know you probably weren't expecting a ghost video when you watched my video, but hey, look, here's a ghost. They said that the guy got hit in the head with a fire extinguisher by upset, pissed off MAGA people who were trying to overthrow the United States government with force, meaning flagpoles. Shit, flagpoles.
By all appearances, Sicknick is healthy and vigorous. He's wearing a helmet, so it's hard to imagine he was killed by a head injury. Whatever happened to Brian Sicknick was very obviously not the result of violence he suffered at the entrance to the Capitol. This tape overturns the single most powerful and politically useful lie the Democrats have told us about January 6th. And it was indeed a lie. The January 6th committee knew perfectly well that Brian Sicknick was walking normally through the...
See, this is the thing. They knew it. They knew they were lying. They seen this footage. They seen that their narrative was debunked by the footage of what actually happened that day. And yet they went on and pushed it anyway. They tried to cover it up. You were never supposed to see this footage. See, that's the thing. Nancy Pelosi thought that the Democrats would rule Congress forever, at least longer than they did. And you would never get to see this footage. And by the time it came to the light of day, she'd be dead and everybody who's involved would be dead or whatever. Yeah, you are not supposed to see this. But this is your country. This is your leaders. This is the people you vote, or you Democrats at least anyway. When you vote Democrat, this is the bullshit that you're going to get. A bunch of evil liars.
The Capitol after he was supposedly murdered by Trump supporters. And they know that because they saw this tape. We can be sure because the footage contains an electronic bookmark that is still archived in the Capitol's computer system. That means that investigators working for the Democratic Party reviewed this tape. They saw it, but they refused to release the tape to the public. Why? Because this tape would shatter the fraud they were perpetrating on the country.
So not only would it shatter the fraud they're doing, it would have kept a bunch of people out of jail that they persecuted, like the QAnon shaman dude, right? At best, his only crime is trespass. Who the fuck gets 4 years for trespass in this country? You let people who shoot at cops out less than 4 years, man. It's sad. It's sad that we've developed into a country that's a two-tiered justice system. If you're a fucking shithead, nasty, liberal Democrat, you can get away with anything you want. But if you have decency and respect and you care about things, you care about your country, you don't believe in child mutilation, and you believe that women are women, and you're gonna get shafted every time, man. Until something's gonna have to give.
Because hiding the truth served their political interests. They lied about the police officer they claimed to revere. If they were willing to do that...
Yep, so they lied. They absolutely lied. And that was about the end of it. There's a couple seconds cut off. But anyway, man, yeah, so you gotta understand, you live in a country that's not what it seems to be. There is no systematic racism. There is Democrats versus Republicans, Democrat versus independents. I mean, it's just well, Marjorie, MTG chick. And she came out and proposed a national divorce. I don't know, man. I think we might be at that point because I don't know how to reconcile or get along with somebody who thinks it's okay to cut your dicks and tits off as a kid because you want to push gay agenda on them. I don't understand, why you would want open borders so you push fentanyl and all kind of criminals from hundreds of countries into our own country and make it less safe, and it costs taxpayers over $151 billion a year. Remember when they said that Donald Trump was fucked up because he wanted to spend $4 billion on a wall? Well, that $4 billion would have kept out $151 billion worth of resources we had to spend on these illegal migrants, right? I don't understand how you can be with people who want to defund the police. I don't understand how you can get along with people who want to have abortion up to and after birth. I mean, I don't understand how I can reconcile or be around these type of people. I simply cannot. There's nothing you could say to me that will change my mind and say, okay, to encourage a kid to cut his dick off. No, I'm sorry. That's never going to happen. You're insane. You're crazy. This is nonsense. This has to end somewhere. Anyway, so again, Tucker Carlson total props. Kevin McCarthy props for actually releasing it. I'm starting to see some good stuff. The fact that the Republicans nearly won Congress and we're starting to being able to pull up all these hearings and things about the Twitter files and about everything is beautiful and glorious. And the amount of people that are freaking out about Tucker Carlson releasing this stuff, that's the best ever, man. The Uniparty, Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell, they're both saying, "Oh my God, you can't say that," yeah, because they don't want to lose control. And they're evil lizard people. They don't care about you. They'll kill you in a second if they need to. Yeah, it's time for America to wake up. Wake up, America. See what's going on around you, man. Do not let your children be subjected to it. Make sure that you get out of the cities, maybe go someplace red, and you got to insulate yourself from this stuff. I mean, I would never live in a city, but that's just me. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, peace.